In the red corner, the legacy ALI database. Old school, rigid, and sometimes slower than a dial-up modem. In the blue corner, the LIS Location Information Server. Modern, flexible, and able to pull device-based location on the fly. Today, we're talking about the evolution of location in the 911 ecosystem and how tools are turning raw coordinates into actionable context for public safety. Let's get ready to... Oh, wait, that's copyrighted.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch, I'm an EMP. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I bring you the most informative and sometimes a bit controversial takes on emergency communications. Today, we're going to go deep on one of the most important pillars of 911 accuracy, location, and comparing the old E911 ALI database and how it stacks up against the NG911 LIS. Let's get started with the basics. ALI, the OG of 911 location. The Automatic Location Identification Database has been with us since E911 was first introduced. It's the database that powers the address data that the dispatcher sees pop up when someone calls from a landline or even a VoIP endpoint when it's registered with the right location. But here's the catch. ALI is static data. The location records are pre-provisioned and rarely updated dynamically. ALI relies on subscriber records or billing records from the carriers or manual uploads from the enterprise, if they ever do it. And if you're using a mobile phone or cloud-based voice service, well, good luck getting precise indoor location. It may have worked well in the 90s, but really for today, it's not ready for today's mobile, nomadic workforce or the dynamic location of emergencies. Enter the LIS, the NG911 upgrade. The Location Information Server, or LIS, changes the entire game. As part of the NG911 core services stack, it does more than just store locations. It's dynamically delivering the caller's actual location in real time, and there isn't just a single LIS server either. Actually, multiple LIS instances can exist. Think of the LIS like a location concierge, who can work in different buildings, depending on who's calling. First, we have the carrier LIS. That's maintained by the wireless or VoIP provider or even the legacy carrier network. It delivers location for callers, whether they're from mobile devices, using GPS, Wi-Fi triangulation, or registered endpoints in the case of VoIP. And examples of that would be Verizon's or AT&T's network-based LIS. But those don't take care of your business telephones inside, typically on a multi-line telephone system. These are maintained by the private organization themselves, like corporations, schools, or hospitals. They live in the corporate network, so they're able to track device-level location when they're located behind firewalls or across corporate campuses. They're able to track updates in real time as people move, and that's done in several different ways, by tracking switches, IP addresses, wireless access points, or even device telemetry, as well as user input themselves. The LIS, beyond coordinates into context. So while the LIS gives us a coordinate, wraps it in situational awareness. It can pull real-time information like indoor maps that show the exact room, floor, and nearest exit. Data from video feeds is integrated so you can see what's happening at the location of the emergency. Building information like door lock status and occupancy sensors can provide information to public safety. And all of this rich metadata is delivered as actionable data to the PSAP as well as first responders. So instead of the callers located at 1709 Route 34, we get the callers in room 218 of the STEM building. That's on the second floor, southeast wing. The alarm's been triggered, there's camera feeds activated, and there are currently 23 people in the zone. Currently, the door locks are all engaged. That's not just location data, that's decision support. Dynamic versus static. Let's put it this way. ALI is like getting directions from a dusty old map. The LIS is like using Waze with live traffic, accident alerts, as well as turn-by-turn guidance, all wrapped with body cam feeds on top. These are just some of the benefits that next-generation 911 networks bring to the emergency response ecosystem, and the value that go way beyond 911, here's my address. That's it for today's episode of TiPS, Today in Public Safety. Thanks so much for listening. For more updates and insights, remember to follow me on most social media platforms at Fletch911, and be sure to visit 911tips.com for a complete archive of our previous episodes. Stay safe, thanks so much for listening, and if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every day. This is Fletch. I'll catch you next time. Take care.
You've been listening to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on 911tips.com. That's 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.